Hey everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Pines, where we will be discussing supernatural stories based in South and North Carolina. As you guys can see, we've had a pretty big revamp in the studio, and I just wanted to thank everyone who worked really hard to do this and make this possible. We are so grateful and so excited to be able to use it. Today we're going to be talking about Devil's Tramping Ground and the Brown Mountain Lights. So sit down and sip with us as we talk Carolina ghosts. Today we're joined by Kevin.
Hey guys, I'm Kevin Wright. I'm a math major here at Brevard College. I'm also doing teacher licensure right now. I'm student teaching at Brevard High and having a great time. I'm a senior and ready to speak.
We've actually been friends since freshman year, so this is really exciting and pretty nostalgic for us to be able to do. And so Kevin, do you believe in ghosts?
It's a long answer, but shortly, no. There's a lot to it, you know? So I think about it similar to how like an agnostic might see religion. Like, sure, there's a possibility, but like, I can't believe that it's true. I haven't seen any proof.
Like tangible evidence kind of thing. Like,
like
seeing it.
No tangible evidence. And I think the problem is like, you need to do some sort of scientific test or get it on video for it to be proof. Scientific tests aren't going to work just by the nature of like supernatural ghost stuff.
Like the whole thing is based around folklore. So.
Yeah, it's based on folklore or just personal accounts. And that's stuff I can't trust it.
Yeah.
Right? And then secondly, the other part of that is like catch it on video. The video they have of it from the old times, it's too choppy and bad to say, oh, this is supernatural, it's true.
Yeah.
Right? And then now we're also hitting this point in the future where so much more technology and software and AI and stuff could just be edited. It could be edited. Like when Blair Witch Project came out, that threw the world like into a craze because people thought it was real and like actually missing. And then it came out, oh, we actually just had some actors go in the woods for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like people were already getting fooled by it, thinking that it was fully real when people weren't even trying to make it like obviously real. Like they were already making it as a movie.
Yeah. I feel like it's definitely hard to say 100% either side. Because, like, you can say 100% you don't believe, but then there's so many people that have these accounts that say that they believe. And that's where my trouble comes in, that I'm like, obviously I want to believe, but it is, like I said in the first episode, I can say with half my chest that I believe. But then the other half is that, like, a little bit that's like, maybe not. Maybe not.
No, yeah, I fully get that. My whole thing... Most of it's dragging me away from it. Like I said earlier, I'm math. I'm in that huge, like, I'm into science. I'm into all that stuff, proving stuff, knowing it's true. And personal accounts do matter sometimes for this stuff. So I think there's, like, cases where there's similar kind of paranormal or similar outside of, like, our physical natural world things that are, like, between cultures across the world that would have never interacted have similar tellings of things. So, like, a lot of cultures have something about a giant snake or serpent, like in Native American, South American tribe culture. There's a lot of stuff about that. In Norse culture, there's Jormungandr. And then in, like, Japanese culture, they have one as well. So, like, all three of those, when would Norse, Japanese, and South American cultures from, like, thousands of years ago interacted? So, like, some stuff like that makes me think possibly.
Yeah.
But you still
and
don't
the
know.
whole thing of like something that's been tripping me up recently is I went down like a rabbit hole of the boogeyman, and like every culture has a different like version of it. Like we have just like the boogeyman, and then like in like Spanish culture they have La Llorona, and like it's all of these different versions of the same thing that kind of is a little freaky. That like. But it might just be parents trying to scare their children, because I think that kind of sums them all up.
Or it could be Keanu Reeves and John Wick.
It could just be Keanu Reeves.
Who knows? Baba Yaga. That's Russian. So another culture with it. There you go.
There you go. All right. Do you know anything about the Devil's Tramping Ground?
I know a lot about it. It has something to do with the devil.
It does.
And it's in the Carolinas.
It is in the Carolinas. You're right on track, yeah. So the stories of the Devil's Tramping Ground dates back to the 1800s. It's located in Chatham County, which is Bear Creek, North Carolina, and it's basically this foot-wide bare path that forms like this perfect circle that's 40 feet in diameter. So your math, and I'm sure you can figure out how big that is. You're mathing that. So over time, there's been tests ran on it, but not a tree, not a flower, no weeds, not even like a single blade of just normal grass will grow in the limits of this circle. There's this like wiry grass that grows in it, but if you take that grass outside of this circle and try to plant it, it will die immediately. Mm-hmm. And seed that's sowed there refuses to sprout. Any vegetation transplanted there will just wither and die. So it's always been like kind of that enigma of like, what is this all about? So any object that's left in the circle will be violently moved outside of the bounds.
Awesome.
Awesome. So campers will place like water bottles, books, sticks inside of it. And by morning, like by dawn, it will have already been outside of it.
What if I put like a kid in the circle? Would it throw the kid in the air?
We'll get to that. So one story says a father and son were camping for Boy Scouts and chose inside the bounds for their tent. And they awoke to their tent being miles away from where they had gone to sleep. I'm not completely sure how true this account is, but that's one of the most popular stories of like the Devil's Tramping Ground, basically. Animals are frightened by the spot. You won't really see like animals coming in as much. Dogs, like if like pet owners come with their like dogs, the dogs are barking, growling, hating it. People report that even being near it, like near this like circle at all, you begin feeling this overwhelming sense of just dread. So starting back in 1946, scientists began to just run just a bunch of tests to kind of debunk it, and there was nothing really that came up about it as much. But the legend claims that the devil, or Prince of Darkness, paces a circle contemplating evil deeds in the woods, which is why it's barren.
Ooh.
So he's just walking around all night long.
He's going around. He's just chilling, though. He's just living his life. He's just
chilling. Like, he's honestly not causing too much harm.
Yeah, he's just, like, throwing a person in the tent so often.
And just, like, a father and a son a little bit. But it's nothing crazy. But many theories say that it was a Native American battle site. There's also a really big theory that it's a UFO landing spot.
No, that is cool.
No, that's cool.
No, that is cool. I mean, the devil's obviously awesome, as we all know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, whatever the reason is. I mean, the scientists went there, you said. They didn't find anything. So, like, and that's what I'm saying is, like, maybe it's true.
They say that there's, like, something in the soil that, like, causes it not to be able to, like, be planted.
That's what I was thinking. But then, like, why would animals...
Yeah, but then why is that, like, wiry grass being able to grow? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions that I've been trying to research, and there's, like, no answers.
We gotta go.
We gotta go. We have to go here.
The only solution.
Yeah. The spot has been something that people feared since before the American Revolution in the 1700s. The stories have been passed down, written accounts dating back to the 1800s. It is said it has been looked the exact same that entire time. So it's like been something that people have been afraid of
centuries.
Centuries.
That's, man, I mean, it's a cool story, definitely. But, like, I feel like if I went there, you know?
You'd be fine.
And I walked into the circle, I wouldn't be like, oh, what's happening to me?
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't, like, feel weird or, like, scared or, like, as you said with some of the accounts.
Oh, what's happening to me? It's crazy.
No, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If I went, because, like, I've gone to places where people have said are haunted, because I'm super interested in this stuff. I just don't believe it's true. I just think it would be awesome if it was.
Like, you like the stories.
I like the stories, and I like to test them. Like, everybody's done the thing where you go in your mirror and, like Bloody Mary 3 times.
Yeah.
Everybody's done that, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like to test them. Maybe one day I'll lose that lottery, and it'll actually happen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Devil's Trampling Ground. It could be a devil. It could just be like some sort of fungus that grows in the ground that animals are aware of. That's killing all the things, and like that one type of grass is resistant to it.
What I'm wondering is like, are there other circles like this that are at other places that we just haven't discovered or people just haven't reported as much? Like, because I feel like this soil or like the stuff that's in this soil has to be in other places.
I heard something about like a lake, maybe out in like Siberia, Russia area, or maybe somewhere else in Russia. And in the water, there's a dead zone where no fish swim into. So, and it's like I don't know if it's a circle,
creepy.
but it's a little area.
That's
definitely.
scary.
Yeah, something like that.
Stuff with bodies of water is just inherently terrifying.
Oh yeah, I grew up on a lake, and there was one time they said there was like a possibility that like a croc or an alligator got released from like a zoo shipment, and so like for the next like month we were all like swimming in the lake and we were like looking around, are we gonna die?
I remember I also like grew up going to the lake when I was little, and my sister convinced me that there was a shark in there and that if you're ever swimming alone that a shark would come and get you. And I was terrified. She would run to get out of the water all the time to just freak me out.
Oh, sharks!
Because
Are
I'd be
awesome.
screaming.
I swam with sharks once. I went to the Bahamas and we got in the water with sharks. It was so awesome.
You know, ghosts don't scare me, but sharks terrify me.
If I thought ghosts were real, I don't even think I'd be scared of them. I think they'd just be like, oh, that's Kevin. He's chill.
Oh, he's chill. We're not going to mess with him.
He's awesome. We're not going to do anything to him.
Like, they're just like, you're untouchable. He's one of us.
Untouchable's a word. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Well, I have some personal experiences, like firsthand accounts. They're all from Reddit. They're like basically the like only ones that I could really find as much. But I have their usernames, so gonna give credit where credit is due. But here's the first one. So I'm now 30 years old. However, when I was 18, some friends and I decided it would be a good idea to go here at midnight one night. The GPS leads you to a gate. You have to walk into the woods a good ways to even find the circle. We had one flashlight for the whole group. The trip wandering around the woods was by all means terrifying. We finally found the circle, and sure enough, it was a circular patch of dirt where nothing was growing smack in the middle of the woods. We hung out for 15 minutes or so and heard animals, but nothing really too out of the ordinary happened. We decided to leave, but when we got back to the car, it felt like something was watching us. Hard to explain, but just the feeling you get when you're being looked at. My friend was driving, I was in the passenger, and there were two friends in the back seat. We drove for about 5 minutes and came to a four-way stop. There was a streetlight providing some dim illumination. At the corner of this four-way stop was a daycare, and the daycare there was a swing set with 4 swings. 3 of the swings were still. The other was moving like someone was in it. The only logical explanation can be if some type of large animal that we didn't see brushed against it as it ran away when we pulled up to the stop sign. However, it was swinging like someone was there in it, not side to side as if it was hit by an animal as it was running past, nor did it slow down as we watched, but kept steady. What could it have been? APA_Panther.
Awesome. I mean, always hearing personal accounts is different.
Yeah.
But they said that they were, how old were they when it happened? Versus 30 now? Like 18?
They said 18.
So 12 years, and they're remembering a lot of details. It's like...
Which means it stood out to them.
It stood out to them, but how much can you remember from a moment that stood out to you 12 years ago? Think about it. When you were 10 years old, can you remember anything? You know what I mean? So it's like, you remember the detail that the GPS brought you to a gate and you had to walk this many minutes? Like, you remember that detail from 12 years ago? Or is that like... So maybe they're filling in gaps in their head from what they do remember. It could be that as well.
I feel like for me, like especially when I was telling the stories of like my childhood and things that like I remember like the big things,
and then
but like the swinging. Like they probably remember that exactly.
That's in their mind.
But then they're like maybe like the car situation and the dim light kind of thing. Like maybe that's what's iffy.
Yeah, so they kind of filled in the details.
Yeah, I feel like the like big things always stick out.
Kind of like a dream where you like you remember parts of the dream and you fill in the rest.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
That's a good point that you make because
I mean,
was
who
10
knows?
years ago.
That swing person could just been the local methy running away, seeing lights.
Could be. That could be it.
You never know.
I am going to choose to believe that it was the devil. I'm going to choose to believe that.
So out of curiosity, if it was the devil, why did the devil just let them go?
I mean, did they?
I don't know. She's
Do we know
typing 12 years
100%? We
later.
haven't heard from APA_Panther
That's true. We
since.
haven't.
We don't know.
God. She went down there.
Yeah. What if they got taken, for all we know?
Oh, Jesus. Well, they need Jesus if they get taken.
Like, we don't know. We don't know. APA_Panther, I hope you're okay. I hope everything's okay. I hope you're doing okay. You're not going to wish them wealth and health and...
I hope you're doing as best as you can be doing right now.
Okay. Well, we have another one, skeptic. When we got there, it was close to sundown. There was a small tree laid over the middle with some trash and broken bottles here and there from uncaring campers. A couple trees had graffiti, nothing too spooky, just dates from people who had been there. We managed to make a small fire before the sun completely went down. It didn't feel weird or anything. It pretty much felt like a normal camping spot. We roasted marshmallows and hot dogs, but couldn't find much wood to keep the fire going. I guess previous campers took most of the sticks and wood laying around. The fire went out around 11, and we told some ghost stories and whatnot. There was an excessive amount of sheet lighting, I think it's called, the flashes of lightning instead of bolts. Actually, I don't know what that's called.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I think sheet lightning. I'm not sure. That's not too uncommon, though, but it lasted all night. Heard an excess of coyotes howling and dogs barking in the distance. No other weird noises. Around 2:40 to 2:50 a.m., my friend woke me up, coming back into the tent. As soon as they entered and the tent was zipped up, you could see the fire blazing outside. Somehow, it had caught back fire, even though there were only embers. At first, I was convinced they were messing with me, but we had agreed no jokes on each other, and we were both creeped out. I opened the tent hesitantly, but all I saw was the fire. Nothing out there. Shutting the tent, the fire stopped as quickly as it started, and nothing else happened. Candy 23 Junkie.
Candy junkie.
Focus on the story, Kevin.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I was just like thinking like, oh, another junkie.
No, focus on the story.
That
one freaks me out too. What would you do if you were camping and you go into the tent and you wake up and the fire's like blazing and it's in a spot that's called Devil's Tramping Ground?
Yeah, no, that'd be a little freaky. The scariest part to me was that the environmental crimes being laid out by those campers that were littering. Oh my god, no. For real though, if you would just wake up and the fire was big, I think I would have two reactions in order. First, oh my god, that is sick. I gotta get closer. And second, ow, I just burned myself. That's scary now. You know?
Okay. Well,
no,
my first thought would be the devil's coming for me.
Okay. I mean, yeah, if you're at the devil's trampling ground, I guess you could think that or whatever.
No, how are you not getting scared by these? These freak me out.
Because, like, I think my thing with it is if I put myself in that situation,
it's going to be totally different.
I'm not going to be... I was joking about going towards the fire. I'm going to be like, oh, there's a giant fire. Let me, like, not go towards it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be harmed. If it is the devil, I'll just pray. You know?
Yeah.
Get away from me.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know. I just, like... Sure, putting yourself in the situation, it could be a little freaky. You know, you, like, get there, you wake up. All of a sudden, you're disoriented. You're just waking up. You're hearing a loud fire. You get out, you see it. It's hot out. All your friends are freaking out, too. It's like, that would be scary, yeah, but in the moment right now, it doesn't scare me. If I was there, I think it would.
That's valid. That's fair. This next one is pretty creepy. This is a longer one. Like, a long one.
Yonkers.
But it's freaky. So, fall of 2009. Another one from a while ago. And I was just waiting for you to say something.
That's fine. I mean, if they, I don't know, whenever it was posted, changes everything. Reddit's pretty ancient.
It was 4 of us total. 2 of my friends went back to the car after a while. It was cold and there was not much to see. I stayed back with a buddy of mine. I brought a Ziploc with me along with a pocket Bible, a rosary in my pocket, just in case, valid, and a stuffed rabbit that one of my best friends had given me. Before leaving, I scooped some dirt up and added it to the Ziploc. I found the prospect of dead soil so interesting and figured that maybe studying under proper light compared to the other soil would give me a better idea of what happened here. Alien radiation, climate change, sulfur, maybe the devil was just busy that night. And between jokes and complaining about the cold, we heard someone walking in the depth of the woods. This wasn't a mistaken sound. This wasn't an I think someone is walking in the woods. This was a definite sound and a definite feeling. This was deep behind the brush, between the trees, and these footsteps were heavy and unashamed of being heard. This was the first time I noticed no crickets were in these woods. There was no sound other than us and these steps, and I was even more unwilling to lift my little flashlight, which was tucked under my armpit and pointed towards my soil sample. My eyes didn't need adjusting, and so we stood there as I made out the shape of something in these woods. It was dark, but I could see it. It was tall, but not disgustingly tall. It was human-shaped. It stood on 2 feet. It would walk and stop, then walk, then stop. Towards us, I think. We were petrified. Neither my friend or I moved. I don't even think we breathed. I was so overcome with fear that I felt numb, but a little tremble ran through my entire body. We just stared. Later, we would discuss how we both wondered if it had seen us, and talk about how we didn't want to move in case it hadn't. At this time, we would also discuss the smell. It was an awful, putrid scent, burning feces and rotting eggs and rotten meat. I grew up Catholic, hence the Bible and the Rosary, and have always been told that that smell means the devil is around. That didn't help my case then. Even typing that now, I'm slightly trembling. This thing stayed toying with us among the sticks of the forest. I say sticks because at the time, very little greenery was alive. I was certain at one point that it saw me. I had that sixth sense feeling I was being stared at right back, and suddenly I had a feeling of overwhelming, unbearable despair. I realized then that my friend had been clutching the back collar of my shirt. I think I was so paralyzed with fear that I had ceased to feel anything but that numbness. I wasn't even cold anymore, but when I felt my friend's hand, I dropped everything in my arms and stood up, then hauled ass back to the car. Not running, just very hurried. I was sure my friend was behind me, but between us, and in all honesty, I didn't even think about it at the time. I was just ready to go. I was so ready to go, in fact, that I missed the clear path completely and took off in between trees and brush, heading towards the yellow glow of the headlights. It wasn't an incredibly long trek, like I said before. The road was right there, but it felt awful and long to me, and it was long enough for those tiny branches to leave little scrapes and then some cuts, and even some cuts down my hands, cheeks, and neck. This whole ordeal couldn't have lasted too long. When I got back to my car, the keys were already in the ignition. The other 2 friends had the heat on, and they both asked me what happened. The friend who stayed behind with me got in the passenger seat soon after, and we took off. Our other friends, the ones who had been in the car, pointed out that our eyes were swollen and bright red. I think we had been crying, or at least it looked like we had been. I looked in the rearview mirror, and my pupils were abnormally dilated. My eyelids were puffy and tender and red. Keep in mind, this could have all had some form of explanation. Maybe the fear made us cry without knowing. Maybe the darkness combined with our nervous reactions enlarged our pupils. But it was still very odd. I realized long after that, I left my Bible, my stuffed rabbit, and my Ziploc bag of dirt in the circle. Neat vibes.
Awesome. I would say that's definitely the scariest of the 3.
I would have pooped my pants. I would not have been able to do that.
All I'm saying is, come at me, devil. Let's throw down. I can win.
You are literally trying to summon something.
No, I'm not.
Once you make these
that
things
is
angry,
the scariest one,
they are
because
summoned.
just that idea, even if it isn't necessarily a supernatural thing, just an animal or a person, something's out there walking nearby you and you don't know what. In the dark. No matter what, that's a scary idea. Because that could be a person with a weapon, or it could be like a bear.
Would you be more scared if it was a person or the devil?
I don't know. I feel like, who knows? Maybe the devil's like chill.
Maybe he's like just really like.
Well, like he was on some other his own like timing back then, back in the biblical times.
Back in the biblical
if people,
times.
whoever believes in like devil, all that, he's all evil. Who knows? Maybe he like mellowed out.
Maybe he's chill.
Yeah, I doubt it though.
I don't think he's chill.
I don't think he's chill.
I don't think it's chill at all.
I think the devil's kind of he's kind of a hater.
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say so. I don't know. I think there's definitely something off with Devil's Tramping Ground. There's zero explanation for this.
I mean, I gotta go now.
No, yeah, I'm really intrigued by
I gotta go. But like, I mean, she even explained away that a lot of it could have been due to other factors.
Yeah.
Like the bloodshot eyes could have just been because they were crying because they were fearful and like they were overreacted to something. Adrenaline could have been the reason for their pupils being super dilated.
Yeah.
All that stuff. But I mean, you'd have to get really in your own brain to get that freaked out over nothing. So there was definitely something.
To the point of crying.
So there was definitely something. Just whether or not it was supernatural is the question.
Yeah.
I mean, that sense of dread coming over you, I think that's just anybody's reaction to an extreme fear for your life.
But that's also, like, the whole, like, everything that, like, church teaches you and everything is that the devil smells like rotten meat and, like, death, basically.
Yeah.
And what she described was it smelling like death.
Yeah, no,
And that's terrifying.
That like, the smell gets it. You ever smell like roadkill or dead animal whenever you go by it? How bad that smells?
Not purposefully.
But you have.
Yeah.
Like, just in the area or something.
Yeah.
Like, that don't smell good.
No. That's what I'm imagining it smelling
Yeah,
like.
so maybe, just to explain it away, could just be there was a dead animal somewhere nearby that was hunting. Maybe the predator that was, like, stalking them, that they got scared of, had just killed an animal, like, the day before, and it was dead, rotting meat.
Yeah.
But definitely the scariest of the three. Like, no matter who, if you believe in supernatural or not, you're going to be a little freaked out at night in the dark.
The tall thing, it's saying, like, tall but not disgustingly tall, but, like, standing on 2 feet gets me.
Yeah.
That freaks me
There's
out.
a lot of depictions of, like, similar stuff where it's, like, something that's a little bit too tall to be human.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard the last episode, but Alyssa was telling, like, her personal experience, and she had an experience when she was little of this dark shadow, like, that was on 2 feet being in the corner of her room. And that's all I could think of when, like, all I could think of was, like, that, and I don't know if you've ever seen Lights Out.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I was imagining, like, that lady that's, like, the dark shadow lady. That's what I was imagining, and it was sending, like, shivers on my
just kind of, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really had any personal things happen with it, though.
Yeah.
The only closest thing I've ever had, personal experience-wise, and I guess it could be devilly, but it was 4th of July. And it was me and my boys back home, 4th of July. I think it was freshman year of college, so I was back home because it was summer. But we decided to go set up fireworks around the area. We were driving down the road, sending them off on the side of the road and stuff. This is all possibly fake for legal purposes.
Yeah. None of this is real.
And there was this abandoned church in the area. We were like, oh, dude, awesome. Let's go over there. Right, so we went over there, and we started sending them off, like, outside the church. And then we all, like, heard and saw something. We all ran to our car. But, like, there's coyotes in the area and stuff. So I was like...
But what did you hear?
It was just, like, rustling in the bush and, like, a loud bang. So I was like, eh.
But, like, did you feel, like, a shiver?
I was like, oh no. What's coming for us? The loud noise. Like,
especially for being around a church.
Yeah,
it's definitely scary.
The abandoned church is definitely a big one. That's definitely, like, one of the creepier things that, like, if I was going to be, like, something's a little scary, it would be that.
Oh, scary was crazy. If something's haunted, it's definitely going to be an abandoned church, for sure.
Yeah, or, like, a mental asylum. Those are the top 2.
Yeah. I was trying to think of anything else, but can't think of any other place. I feel like those are definitely the top 2.
Salem.
Just Salem?
Just the entire...
Just the
entire area around Salem as well.
Yeah.
All of that.
I agree. I want to go to Salem.
I think Salem's a cool trip.
Fun. Especially during Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they do all those festivals. That would be so fun.
Yeah. I don't want to pay for it, so I will not be attending.
Oh. Well, there goes that. All right. Well, have you heard of the Brown Mountain Lights?
No, I have not. At all.
At all?
Nope.
Okay, this will be fun. So, located in the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina, which anything Appalachia is immediately terrifying.
There's also, like, here.
Literally where we're at right now, which is even scarier. When I was reading, like, I went down a deep dive of Appalachia and, like, the Appalachian, like, whistles and, like, all of that. Don't do it, especially if you're in that area.
What's even scarier right now, any supernatural thing, is those fires, man.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
That's terrifying.
It's in Polk.
It's so scary everything that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's terrifying and it's getting close.
It's a fun time. Hey, we'll be
Everybody,
gone.
please be safe. Everybody stay safe. Please.
Oh, we're fine. But yeah.
But there's some people that are still getting impacted by
Mhm.
it. But so it's located in the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina, specifically around Brown Mountain in the Pisgah National Forest, which we have Pisgah Forest right next to us. The lights are most frequently spotted near the towns of Morganton and Linville in Burke County. Do you know where? Okay. The Brown Mountain lights are mysterious illuminations reported near Brown Mountain in North Carolina's Appalachian region. Witnesses describe them as glowing orbs that hover, flicker, and float above the mountain, captivating observers for over a century. But a lot of people say the sight is almost indescribable altogether. How are you feeling about that?
Indescribable.
Indescribable?
Yeah.
Are you
I'm
intrigued?
going to use their word.
Are you intrigued?
Indescribable. I'm intrigued. I am very intrigued.
The earliest published accounts date back to around 1910. What's your history guy?
Oh yeah, huge history buff.
What was happening then?
What was happening then? I don't know, like World War One, almost soon. In like 5 years.
Yeah. Okay. Coinciding with the spread of electric lighting in the area. In 1922, U.S. Geological Survey scientist George R. Mansfield investigated the phenomenon and attributed the lights to sources like train and car headlights, as well as brush fires. According to Cherokee folklore, the lights are the spirits of grieving women searching for their lost loved ones. The story tells of a great battle between Cherokee and Catawba tribes that took place near Brown Mountain around 1200 AD. Many warriors from both tribes were killed in the fight. After the battle, Cherokee women ventured into the mountains carrying torches as they searched for their fallen husbands, brothers, and sons. The legend says the spirits of these women still wander the mountains, and their ghostly torches are seen as the Brown Mountain lights, endlessly flickering in sorrow.
Oh, that's very sad.
That's actually so sad.
It's kind of sweet though.
Yeah, it's nice that they're still
around.
looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that reminds me a bit of like the stories of like Alice and the Gray Man and like kind of just the sad part of the stories. Yeah, that's
actually?
too. No.
Oh, okay.
Alice Flagg.
I don't know that one.
Oh, it's another like sad story like this.
Mm-hmm.
It just reminds me of those.
Okay.
One local legend claims the lights are the spirit of a miner who vanished on Brown Mountain. His lantern is said to float through the night as he wanders in search of his camp. Some witnesses claim the lights move in ways that defy gravity or human-made technology, suggesting that they could be alien spacecraft.
Aliens, cool,
so
man.
do you believe in aliens?
I think I more believe in aliens than I would paranormal ghost type things.
That's fair.
You know?
That's definitely fair.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends on like how much you really trust science. But like that whole idea of the universe always expanding.
Yeah.
And the universe can be infinitely big.
Like there's no way we know.
That means that if it's infinitely big, infinity guarantees that at some point there's other life out there.
That there's something else.
Yeah, maybe it will exist in like a billion years, but because of the way like that far distance works, a billion years is like technically like right now or whatever. Like that whole idea of like time space warping.
Continuum.
So, like, that whole stuff. It's like I feel like at some point aliens exist. I just don't know whether or not they're here yet. You know?
Yeah. Like what if they're just walking among us and we don't know?
Yeah, Among Us.
Okay. Okay.
No, aliens though. It's on topic.
Sure. A French theory speculates that the lights are glimpses into another dimension, which with portals occasionally opening above Brown Mountain. The area has been a hotspot for UFO reports, adding to the belief that the lights could be related to alien activity.
I mean, that's awesome.
That's
the lizard
that
people. Cool. What if it's them? What if it's the lizard people that live under us?
Stop. That's freaky. That and like I don't think you're supposed to say it, but the SKIN walkers.
Oh, those ones? We're not supposed to say it?
Freak me out.
Okay, I
won't
say it.
Those freak me out, for real. That's really scary. I don't like those.
Yeah, the sounds they make in like those like movies and home videos of them, kind of freaky.
Yeah. I agree.
Or like, you seen like the videos where like people like pretend it, or like they do like the short like documentary movie type things, and they're like imitating something, but something like sounds off about their voice. Freaky.
I can't do that. And like uncanny valley kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
That freaks me out. Those all I can't do any of that.
Mm-hmm. Well,
like the idea of that being like walking around with us freaks me out.
Yeah. I mean, same thing with the aliens then. Maybe they're walking around with us and we just don't know. My whole thing though is like if it is aliens, like maybe it's just a human in me thinking this, but like why haven't they like if they have enough technology to travel space and not in our galaxy, across a different galaxy, if they're that advanced as like a species, like why haven't they like I don't know, like
I think there was something that came out like from the government that like the article thing, like a bunch of articles that came out like saying that they do know that there's life.
Yeah, they released all that. Like one of the heads and like I don't remember what. I think it might have been the CIA. He was like, "This stuff's real."
Yeah.
And people were like, "Okay, bro."
No, yeah. Which like I remember just seeing a frenzy on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff, just saying like oh my gosh, they just admitted that it's all real.
Yeah.
Kind of
So, but like my thing, if it is real, and their technology is that advanced to be able to get to Earth, like. How are we capturing them, and how are we like doing anything?
What are we supposed to do?
Yeah, like we're just like at this point, like we got to be like, it's the same way that like we treat like monkeys. You think about it like that. Like monkeys are that dumb compared to us, but we still see them as like they're smart.
Yeah.
They might see us like that, like oh we're so smart, but like we're pretty stupid.
Yeah.
So like they could just do anything they wanted with us, and we wouldn't like be able to do anything. Like they could just like enslave our whole race.
Why would you say that?
Well, I'm just saying, like, they haven't, so obviously they don't want to if they are here.
Oh, my gosh. Well, now it's going to be in my head that could happen.
Oh, yeah, it could happen. There'll be... I don't know, you read... I forget the name of the story, but it's, like, one about this alien race. It's, like, you know, millennia in the future. And I don't remember the name of it, but it was a cool idea, and it was, like, a alien species, like, to mess around with other planet beings. And, they were so, like, you know, highly advanced that they could, like, genetically modify other species. And they started genetically modifying humans into, like, hundreds of different creatures that were, like, torturous to live as. Like, one of them was, like, they turned humans into bricks and built them into pyramids, and they could never die because they didn't need food anymore. So they just lived for, like, 10,000 years doing nothing but just sitting in pain in the sun.
That's terrifying, Kevin.
I know it's terrifying, but, like, it was
honestly, aliens might
writing.
be scarier than ghosts.
Well, I think with the whole thing with aliens versus ghosts is like, if aliens are real, they have either not advanced far enough to find us yet. It's one of three things. They've advanced far enough not to find us yet. They haven't advanced enough. 2, they're here but they're chill.
Yeah.
Or 3, they're on their way here. Is like the only other option, and they aren't gonna be chill when they get here.
Like,
because once they're here, if they don't want us.
Are they on, like, I don't, in my head, they're not on any of the planets immediately near us. Like,
Yeah,
they're not in any of the planets in our galaxy. But what I'm thinking about is, like, how they know that there's another galaxy.
Oh, yeah, we know
and,
there's, like, infinitely, it's expanding.
Yeah. And so, like, knowing that the universe is expanding, so, like, how long would it take for them to get here kind of thing is what gets me. Like, the whole space-time continuum.
Because technically they could.
All that, like,
They could be here.
They could be here.
And then like that versus ghosts though. So like you have that idea of like either aliens are going to be good or bad no matter what.
Yeah.
They'll be more advanced than us if we don't find
Which
them first.
aliens could also just be certain, like, the thing is, like, we don't know if it's like things that communicate like us or if it's things that communicate like more
like
so like less domesticated animals, or like if they're just microorganisms, just like bacteria
that are
like. Which
didn't
they say that there's bacteria on Venus?
I don't know. I haven't read about that. Maybe.
I'm not sure. I do deep dives into things that freak me out just to make my life harder.
Yeah. But then with ghosts, it's like if the ghost thing is real, they've been here. Because like everybody's account of them is that they're real. And I guess they kind of just choose who gets to see them. And they haven't killed our whole everybody and tortured us all yet.
And I guess we could say the same thing about like demons kind of thing, like the negative.
Maybe they've tried though. Who knows? Maybe they've tried.
That's true. Maybe Ed and Lorraine were onto something.
Yeah.
Although Abby kind of ruined that for me and told me that they were like they faked all of it.
Were they like tweaks?
Yeah.
Oh.
I like to believe they weren't. But we have some firsthand experiences about these as well. They're less scary, but more so like they could be aliens.
Mm-hmm.
So, as it got dark, a white light appeared down in the gorge, almost fading in and out at first. I pointed it out and we watched it. Then, almost as if communication was happening, more and more appeared below us down in the gorge. They'd blink and move about in a manner that could not be explained as a hiker with a flashlight or any other man-made existence I could come up with. A red light on Hawksbill appeared and rose up into the sky and disappeared, with a couple of green lights near. My husband and I both witnessed all of these. This next one happened so quickly. My husband missed it, and I have not seen anything else like it in any of our subsequent trips back. On the horizon, looking at actual Brown Mountain, the most fascinating thing I've ever seen appeared from the side of that mountain. Looked like the lights of a Ferris wheel, with a center blue-colored light where spokes of green light came out, with a red ring around it. It was turning like a Ferris wheel and rose up over the mountain and disappeared. Truly incredible. I can't even describe the wonder I felt seeing that. Tight psychology.
So that makes me think that if there is something there, it is more.
Like that could be like a UFO kind of thing.
One of those things. I don't know. I mean, the UFO thing is definitely scary, but it's like, why are all UFOs that people imagine or see, why are they all like that stereotypical circular thing with lights leaping off of it?
Like,
why is it
not more creative?
Why do they all see the same UFO that's not different? Why is it never like in the shape of a needle?
What I thought is like
a missile.
With this whole lighting thing is like what my first thought was like is like a airport nearby and like a plane going by, but like it wouldn't be going up, it'd be going to the side kind of thing. Yeah. So I'm not sure.
And you would hear an airplane or a helicopter if it was close enough. I mean, maybe not close enough to see the lights, but if it was close enough for you to like make out there's multiple lights in different colors. And the whole thing of like it being people with flashlights can't be right? Yeah. You seen the movie Nope?
No.
Oh, it's I think it's Peel. The same guy that Get Out. And his thing with the UFO was instead of the UFO having aliens on it, the UFO was the alien. It was an organism that was shaped like a UFO. Yeah.
That could be crazy.
Yeah, it was very cool.
I didn't know
movie.
that was an option.
Well, it's aliens, infinite options. You don't know. They could they could look just like us, or they could be some sort of being that's never been thought of by the human mind. It could be like a 4-dimension being. Like they can go in and out of the third dimension. Like, dude, it gets pretty wild what could happen.
I don't like that. I don't like any of these things.
I think if ghosts are real, that what they are is that they're like fourth dimensional beings. Like if they are real, that's what they've got to be because they're able to go.
Because they can't walk among us, kind of thing. Like they have to don't see them. Like they can't walk with us every day. Like
no, yeah, because like the idea of like a fourth dimension is that they can kind of like go in and out of our third dimension that we can observe. That's what all these like stories of these ghosts and demons and stuff is. It's like sometimes they're visible to everybody and sometimes they're visible to only one or nobody. It's like weird.
It is weird. We have another one. This one is a little bit long too. So I used to backpack in the early to late 80s, frequently in the Linville Gorge area. This is a true story from that time. We went down the Short-Off Trail, me and 3 friends of mine who also backpacked. It was a warm October day, leaves still hanging on. We set up camp, fished for trout, caught 6 or so between us. We had dinner and then sat around the campfire laughing and talking until late in the night. There it had gotten cooler, mid to lower 40s. We decided to go down to a large flat rock that sat about a third away across the river. I took a sleeping pad with me to lay on the rock to stare up into the sky and the hulking shadow of Short-Off Mountain. We had invited a friend from Robbinsville, North Carolina, to come with us, since he had never been down in the gorge and loved to fly fish. We were all laughing and laying on the rock in the river. It was about 1 a.m. Suddenly, the guy from Robbinsville said, "What the hell is that?" pointing up at Short-Off. We all looked up. There were glowing orbs, seemingly lit from within, slowly descending the night sky, floating towards us. Nobody said a word. We were all staring up at the sheer walls of Short-Off massive, and gasping. Our Robbinsville friend said, "Somebody must have kicked a campfire off of the side of the mountain." We knew it wasn't a campfire. as the balls of light were falling as if they were parachuting, slowly meandering, not straight down, back and forth across the river where we were sitting. As soon as they came to the top of the trees along the river, they blinked green and blue and slowly disappeared. We sat for close to an hour there, watching the balls of light of different sizes floating down. I was mesmerized at the hundreds of balls of light that fell that starry, cool evening. We went back to our campsite, giddy with what we had all just witnessed. Double Mammoth 9947.
It's a cool one. I think that would be like the best way to experience it. It's just you and your boys out in the woods.
Fishing
and
and
you see
giggling.
that. Well, I'm not a big fisher, but
Yeah.
I get what you mean. Like out in the woods, messing around with your
Yeah.
friends, doing an activity you all enjoy. And all of a sudden, what is that?
What
dude?
is that? Like, that would be cool.
Mhm.
Like, especially, like, I know that dude was comfortable on that, like, sleeping pad. Like,
yeah.
I know that
He was having time of his
comfy.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was good. And then he also felt invincible. Him and his
No,
friends.
yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah.
No,
take
we're
it.
chilling.
If it's a fight, we got it.
And, like, it going, like, falling kind of thing is kind of creepy. Like, that's,
It's like it's coming towards them.
yeah, that's kind of freaky.
Yeah, that's like the lights are slowly growing. That idea. And like, oh, they're not growing. They're just getting closer. Okay.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Or, like, what if, like, I don't know, like, obviously, like, I don't think, it might not be aliens, but my first thought is aliens.
Mhm.
But for so many people to see it, do aliens just stay in one place? Or do, like, they go in another,
Or
like,
they have their own like territories
yeah.
they broke the earth up to, and some of them are like more prone to being seen.
But there's
like,
been so many, like, scientists that have gone there and done research and
Mhm.
found nothing.
yeah. Or maybe they found something they're keeping it from us. Maybe the government's against
That's
us.
a good point. That's a good point. All important
Well, I'm just thinking, like,
questions.
if aliens were real in here, like they would have captured me by now because I'm like a prime specimen.
Right.
Like I'm like top tier. Right? They would be like, oh, Kevin, we need him. We need to dissect him because he's like the peak of human evolution.
Sure.
Okay, you agreed?
I was thinking more of, like, that you're not real. And, like, you're just not a real person.
Whoa. I'm real. Look at me. I'm here. I'm real.
You're terrifying is what you are.
That's why they haven't come for me yet. They're scared of me.
Well,
They're like, oh, he's too strong. He can take us all.
right. Well, I kind of want to switch it up and have somebody that doesn't really believe as much.
Mhm.
And we did that. And you did not, what was your favorite one? Did you believe in any of them?
The favorite of all, like, the personal accounts was definitely that, one person who went in with her friend alone to the devil's trampling ground
Oh, and saw the figure?
and saw the figure and, like, smelled the weird stuff. Because that's just, like, it's a cool story. Whether or not it's
Yeah.
true, it's, like, a cool one to hear. It has that little bit of, like, a fear factor to it.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what you believe. Just by the whole, like, where it is and what's happening.
Yeah.
But like overall story, definitely the UFO one. Aliens are awesome. Like that idea of UFOs versus aliens, and like, are those real? And
Yeah.
then like, oh, are ghosts real? And then comparing them, maybe they're the same thing, maybe they're different. Like, what if aliens are just ghosts? Like, what if all the ghosts we see and stuff are like the paranormal stuff that happens to just aliens? Whoa.
That's crazy. That trips me out.
What if it's like aliens that have been
Like,
here for
what if it's
thousands
just,
of
like-
years and they just become folklore because they've been here for so long?
That's crazy. That could be it.
That could be it. I just cracked the code.
You
I'm-
cracked it.
If I go missing, right? Just know.
Because the government found you and figured it out and
And that,
found
yeah.
out that you knew.
Yeah.
Or the aliens got you.
Or well, who's to say they're not the same thing? The government and the aliens. That's all I'm
I
saying.
think you're going down a rabbit hole that
No,
we don't
I'm
have
not.
to go
I'm
down.
not. Give me my tinfoil hat right now.
You're not real. Well, thank you everyone so much for watching. This has been our episode with Kevin, and you can find everything on our socials. Our next episode will be coming out next week. We had a little bit of a backtrack when we just had spring break, so I didn't really do anything during that week, but we will be getting right back on schedule soon enough, and thank you so much for being patient and sticking by us. We are so excited to see you again next week. Bye, guys.
Thank you.